writer's block actually exist? Let's find out. I'm going to teach you how to conquer those blank pages without using artificial intelligence. So grab a pen, grab a pencil, open up that Notes app, and let's get started. Hi, I'm Cheyenne Cleveland, and I'm here to give you answers to questions that I've already asked about writing and self-publishing your book. Congratulations! You started writing your novel. You've probably had the idea for a while and have even spent some time planning your outline. You could even be halfway through your manuscript. You started with so much momentum. Inspiration and creativity were flowing, but now you've hit a wall. And every time you start writing your manuscript, you end up staring at a blank page. Sound familiar? Writer's block is something that gets talked about a lot in writers groups and even online. And there's a reason why. It's because so many of us experience that dip in our writing. It happens, and it's okay. Maybe you're having a hard time transitioning the scene, or maybe you just don't know what's going to happen next. Either way, here are 5 things you can do to beat the brain block without AI. First things first, just write. Okay, Cheyenne, we just talked about why we can't write. But let me tell you, getting words on the page are a lot easier than you're making it out to be. Let go of the perfect scene, let go of the perfect plot, let go of the perfect dialogue, and just write the very first thing that comes to mind. It doesn't even have to be related to your story. Sometimes our brains just have a really hard time getting warmed up. So consider the random word spill a warm-up to the real work. You're oiling your hinges. Write about your day. Write about your dreams. Write about a purple elephant on an Arctic vacation. Just write something. And before you know it, you'll be ready to return to your story. Second thing you can do, skip where you're stuck. I mean it. Bookmark the part of your story that you're struggling with a page break or giant letters that say HELP, and move on. If you skip ahead to the part of the story that you're inspired by, or a section where maybe you just have more clarity for your plot, you might be surprised at how well that helps bridge the gap. And you might get fresh ideas while you're writing this next scene, which will make it a lot easier to fill the empty space in between. And this technique is a lot more useful than staring at a blinking cursor. Third thing you can do to help beat your writer's block is spend some of your writing time reading. What? Grab a book off the shelf and pay attention to the word flow. Pay attention to the pacing. Pay attention to the characters. Pay attention to the world building. My advice, read a book that has the same point of view as the one that you're currently writing. It'll help refresh your mind and your storytelling. When I remember what I love about certain books, it actually inspires me to be a better writer. Taking time to read isn't a waste of time when it comes to writing your own novel. Think of it as research. Speaking of research, reading about things that you're writing about can really get those rusty cogs turning. For example, a central theme of my story is memory. So I bought some magazines on brain development and memory research and spent some time reading about it. Anytime I got an idea for my story while I was reading, I jotted it down in a notepad. And that notebook became a launch pad for my next writing session. The fourth thing you can do to help beat writer's block is actually really simple and easy to apply anytime you've finished a writing session. When you come to the end of your writing time, make bullet points of your ideas for the next scene or where you think the story will go next. Maybe you have an idea for dialogue or where the character is going to go or how they're going to exit the room. Write down any and all of your ideas. Even if you don't use them during your next writing session, it'll help refresh your memory on what you already wrote so that you don't have to go back through and reread everything that you had to say the last time. All you have to do is read those bullet points and go, oh yeah, this is what I'm going to write next. Jot down as many ideas as you want. It doesn't even have to be cohesive. Okay, this last tip is super important. Form good writing habits. Okay. If you establish good writing habits, you'll be able to beat the blank page even when you don't have the inspiration or motivation to write. Here's some things that I did to help me form some good writing habits. I started writing when my brain worked best. I'm a morning person, so writing in the mornings was way more beneficial than writing in the evenings. When I was writing at night, I was barely getting 300 words on the page, and everything felt forced. The thing is, my mind was tired and I didn't have the creative energy to work on my project. But waking up an extra hour before I needed to and sitting at the computer with crusty eyes, that worked. I was able to put down 1,000 fresh words in just 1 hour. So find out when your mind is the clearest and write then. If you have a scheduling conflict, consider reworking your routine to help you find time to write when you feel your best. Trust me, it's worth it. The second thing that I did to help me form good writing habits was to remove all distractions from my writing space. Yes, that means putting the phone down and not opening up the Pinterest app. I didn't check my email. I didn't check my text messages. I didn't go on social media. I put aside my to-do list and just focused on writing. It isn't always easy, but it does help. Another thing that I did that helped me form good writing habits was to remove the urge to overthink and edit every single sentence that I wrote. And let me tell you what, perfectionism doesn't just waste your time, it kills your mood. And before you know it, you've rewritten that 10-word sentence millions of times, and it's the only thing that you have to show for 2 hours worth of work. So is it really writer's block, or are we having a hard time moving on? I'm sure you've already heard this quote that's been circling around the internet. You can always edit a messy page, but you can't edit a blank one. And it's so true. So in the words of a wise teacher, take chances, make mistakes, and get messy. You can always fix it later. Okay, I know I've already given you 5 things to do to help beat writer's block, but I have a bonus tip. If you try all of the things that I've mentioned and you still have a hard time beating those stagnant sessions, try this. Get out and immerse yourself in something that you're writing about. If you're writing about the forest, go take a walk in the woods. If you're writing about a certain occupation, interview somebody who does that job. My main character loves the stars, so my family took a 2.5-hour road trip just so we could go stargazing in a dark zone. It was incredible, it was inspiring, and it connected me to my character. There are so many things that you can do to beat writer's block without typing in that prompt in an AI generator. Give some of these strategies a go, and let me know which one you think might work best to help you defeat writer's block. Happy writing!